Yo guys, we're only a few weeks away from the new James Bond movie No Time to Die. And in anticipation, I'm gonna do a top 10 of the highlights of each James Bond actors. It's the first week, so we're talking about Sean Connery. Sean Connery is mostly known for being the best James Bond actor. Ask any Bond fan, most of them will say that Sean Connery is their favorite one. And I can't argue, he's definitely my favorite as well. And that makes for some great moments in his movies. And before we get to the top 10, of course, again I've some honorable mentions. To the You Only Live Twice climax, the killing of Vargas in Thunderball, and the Goldfinger pre-title sequence. And now let's get to the top 10. Coming in at number 10 for me is going to be the killing of Professor Dent in Dr. No. Yeah, this is just a classic moment. Of course, Bond knew someone was going to that house to assassinate him, so he sets a trap with pillows, shaping like a human under the blankets, and he waits until someone shows up. He of course shoots the pillows, and then Bond starts interrogating him. And Professor Dent is trying to get his weapon back, but Bond pretends he doesn't notice, so he lets him do that. And because he counted the bullets, he already knew he was out of bullets. And then when Professor Dent tries to shoot him, he says this.
I'm working for
Mr. Smith and Wesson. And you've had your six.
It's just a classic moment and one of the coolest cold-hearted moments in the series, and I just love it. Coming in at number 9 is going to be the fight between James Bond and Oddjob in Goldfinger. This is also just a classic moment, a brilliant fight. Throughout the entire film, we know what Oddjob can do with his head. And the fight is full of tension. And it's actually pretty cool to have a fight like this without music. You only hear the humming of the bomb, and you hear the clock ticking. And the moment where James Bond kills Oddjob is just awesome. Bond finds the head of Oddjob and he misses and gets stuck between the bars. And then Bond electrocutes him because he puts a wire against the metal bars, which was destroyed earlier by Oddjob. And then he gets electrocuted and he screams out of pain, obviously. And it's just a classic moment. And afterwards, of course, he throws out a one-liner.
Where's your butler friend?
Oh, he blew a fuse.
Coming in at number 8 is going to be the bed scene in From Russia with Love. James Bond walks into his hotel room and he finds a naked woman in his bed. And then romance starts to spark up between the two. And it's a pretty good one too. And like all the moments in this list, it's a classic moment. And actually, the filmmakers chose this as the audition scene for James Bond actors that came after Sean Connery, which is pretty cool. So that is also one of the reasons it makes this list, and it's just a classic moment. Coming in at number 7 is going to be the underwater war from Thunderball. Yeah, I know that a lot of people don't like the sequence, but I always thoroughly enjoyed it. James Bond has this awesome underwater jetpack thingy, which fires torpedoes and harpoons. It's just very awesome. And this whole scene is just beautifully filmed. and there's a great soundtrack to go with it too. Coming in at number 6 is going to be the Little Nelly from You Only Live Twice. This is just an awesome mini vehicle, which I will come to later episodes as well. But this was the very first one. James Bond uses this helicopter to investigate at an island, and then 4 enemy helicopters show up. And of course, this helicopter has cool spy gadgets. It is a flamethrower, and it can drop mines, and it even has heat-seeking missiles. It's just very cool stuff. And this whole action sequence is done with the James Bond theme playing in the background. That all just adds up to the fun, and I just love it. Speaking of cool spy gadgets, coming in at number 5 is going to be the car chases from Goldfinger. Yeah, I kind of cheated with this one. I couldn't choose between the 2 car chases in this movie, so I included them both as one. But in this movie, James Bond just gets the coolest car of all time, and like I said, it has cool spy gadgets. It has tire slashers, machine guns, smoke screens, oil slick, and a bulletproof shield. It's just all very awesome. The action is in this movie spectacular, and that's mostly because of these spy gadgets. And the gadget car is just one of my favorite elements in the Bond series, so that's why it easily breaks into the top 5. Going in at number 4 is the train fight in From Russia with Love. In the Bond series you have a lot of awesome train fights, but this is easily my favorite one. At the beginning of the movie, James Bond got a briefcase which has a tear gas booby trap if you open it in the wrong way. And throughout the entire movie you learn about Red Grant and his strength and what he can do. But James is held at gunpoint, and Red Grant needs something that is in the briefcase, and then he falls for the trap. And then an awesome fight starts between Connery and Robert Shaw. Yeah, they did it themselves, no stunt doubles or fight doubles. But it's all very well done. It's very realistic, it's well choreographed, and it's full of tension. And the way that Bond defeats Red Grant eventually is also very cool and cold-blooded. And I love the cold-blooded aspect of James Bond. So this is just an awesome moment. Coming in at number 3 is the James Bond introduction from Dr. No. This may actually be my favorite character introduction in any movie ever. It's just very cool done that first you don't see his face, you get small glimpses of him, and then when you see his full face and he introduces himself, it's just so cool.
I admire your courage, Miss...
Trench. Sylvia Trench. I admire your luck, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
With that line, Sean Connery proved to the world he was the coolest guy of all time. And then he starts flirting with the girl across the table, and he asks if she's interested in doing something else later that week or that night. And just the way Sean Connery talks and walks, it's just all very cool. Sean Connery to me is just the coolest actor in the world. So easily this one gets my number 3. The runner-up is the Honey Rider beach scene in Dr. No. Another iconic moment, arguably one of the most iconic ones in the entire series. James Bond is sleeping on the island Crab Key, which is held by Dr. No, when he wakes up to the singing of Honey Rider, played by Ursula Andress. It's all just done wonderfully. When she walks out of the ocean, it immediately became very iconic. And everyone back then, I think, was in complete awe when they saw it. It was something they've never seen before. And I was in complete awe as well. Her striking beauty just stole the show in that scene. She's one of my favorite Bond girls and easily one of the hottest ones. And the scene is just, like I said, wonderfully done. So easily it's the runner-up. But coming in at number 1 is the laser table scene from Goldfinger. This is just a classic moment, and I think the most iconic one in the entire series. And if you haven't seen this movie, the chance is very big that you at least know about the scene and that you know this line.
Do you expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
And the scene is just very well done. It's very tense. The music is very good and tense. And every man just gets uncomfortable with a laser beam reaching his testicles. And I think that's not something a man would want. And James Bond just has to lie his way out of this, because he also doesn't want a laser beam touching his testicles. So it's just very tense, it's classic and iconic, and it's easily my number 1. So this is my favorite James Bond moments from Sean Connery. Comment down below your favorite James Bond moments from Sean Connery. And thanks again for watching. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I see you later.